Honorable Dr. Mavetera was a member of the Pan-African Parliament, where she was the first vice president of the Youth Caucus. In the beginning of the 9th Parliament of Zimbabwe, she was appointed Assistant Speaker, where she was chairing Parliament and committees in the House. She is a very aggressive and passionate woman when it comes to youth and women issues in Zimbabwe. She initiated the Youth Caucus in the 9th Parliament in a bid to see youth issues being addressed. Furthermore, she was a member of the Budget and Justice Committees. In 2021, in yet another political dimension, she initiated a movement dubbed Young Women for ED, which gave birth to several other affiliates or movements under the For ED banner. She holds an honors degree in management and marketing and a master's in strategic marketing. She is a strategic marketer and information communication expert who has been in the information communication and transport industry for over 11 years. Honorable Tatenda Anastasia Mavetera, doctor, was awarded a doctorate in human letters from the International Women's University for the contribution she has done to emancipate women, more importantly young women in Zimbabwe. She is currently studying towards another doctorate in business leadership with the Midland State University. We are honored this morning, ladies and gentlemen, to have her here today to give us insights and share her mind, her vision in relation to the telecoms sector, especially in the area of connecting the unconnected, bridging the digital divide. It is therefore my honor to invite to the podium our Honorable Minister, Dr. Mavetera, to come and address us. Honorable Minister, ma'am. Shall we put our hands together as we welcome her? I think we can keep clapping until she arrives.
Please be seated. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you. Let me also ride on what our CD said and say Happy Women's Month to all the gentlemen here. Thank you very much. Let me acknowledge the presence of the Chief Director in the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Mr. Prince Swanda, the Chairperson of the Board of AB Communications, Mrs. Belinda Mswaka, the Board Member of AB Communications, Mr. Robson Mandiwanzira, the Managing Director of AB Communications, Madam Wunga Mzenda, Senior Executives and Management of AB Communications, the Deputy Director General of Postal and Courier Services, Postal and Telecommunications Authority of Zimbabwe, POTRAZ, Mr. Alfred Marisa. Titans of the industry, Liquid Intelligent Technologies Zimbabwe CEO, Mr. Wellington Makamure, Tel1 CEO, Engineer Lawrence Nkala, Net1 CEO, Engineer Rafom Shanawani, Zimpos Post General, Mr. Maxwell Tendeni, PowerTel MD, Mr. Willard Nyagwande, Institute for Sustainability Africa CEO, Mr. Rodney Ndamba, Econet Wireless, Nexus Viavi, Africom, Dandem Tande, and all other companies that I could have not have mentioned were here. Distinguished speakers from the telecommunications industry and aligned industries, our general sponsors who are here, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and colleagues, it's a very good morning to you all. It is a great honor to address you today at this Zimbabwe Annual Telecommunications and Exhibition 2024. It is an inaugural one, the first of its kind, and indeed would want to congratulate AB Communications for organizing this. Well done and congratulations. Before I delve into the heart of these discussions, I think it is also very, very important for me to also be able to take this opportunity to also say, yes, just like what Mr. Marisa came on and said, this is not a very good time for our sector because, of course, of everything that is coming through with it. For me, I would definitely say I'm a bit contrary to that. For me, it is a very good time for me because this is the time that I get to be able to also represent the people and make sure that we come up with policies and measures that are supposed to be people-centric. So indeed, as much as they're saying it's difficult for them, for me, it's very, very easy because indeed, we need to come up with policies, also with regulations, and indeed to also come up with decisions that will propel this nation going forward in line with what our president is saying, that we are a customer-centric, we are a citizen-centric, and of course, a people-centric organization and government that we have. So indeed, we need to make sure that whatever we're going to come up with, it has to be people-centric, as enunciated by our President, His Excellency, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa. Your investment in this conference demonstrates your commitment to advancing the telecommunications sector in Zimbabwe. Your contributions enable us to host this, and indeed, I really want to thank AB Communications for also making sure that they are innovative and also coming up with great partnerships and also support that you got to make sure that you're able to have this conference going. As we gather here today, we are presented with a unique opportunity to address some of the most pressing challenges facing our industry. The theme of this year's conference is Connecting the Unconnected, Bridging the Digital Divide, which underscores the importance of ensuring that we have access to communications. And indeed, this is in line with the mantra of leaving no one and no place behind, is championed by our President, His Excellency Dr. Idi Mnangagwa. The program outlined for this conference reflects our collective goal of leveraging the latest advancement in telecommunications so that we can address Zimbabwe's specific needs. Through interactions with industry experts and innovators, we have the opportunity to delve into the challenges and opportunities unique to our nation. In today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, global developments in the ICT sector are shaping the way we live, we work, and also interact. From the widespread adoption of AI to the transformative impact of e-health and telemedicine, technology is driving progress across various sectors, including education as well. As our nation is aspiring to achieve a middle upper income economy by 2030, we need to make sure that ICTs are embraced, and indeed it is not a choice, but it is a necessity. Embracing ICT goes beyond mere discussion. It requires actionable strategies and concrete steps to future-proof our telecoms businesses. I am encouraged to see key stakeholders from the business sector present here today, ready to engage with us in meaningful dialogue that would drive tangible outcomes. As government representatives, it is our responsibility to create an enabling policy environment that supports the realization of our connectivity goals. This conference provides a platform to open and have honest discussions where we can identify gaps in existing policies and work together to enact reforms and facilitate our collective vision. We recently had the honor of having His Excellency, the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, launch 3 national ICT policy documents last week in Somabula. Indeed, the policy documents attest to government's commitment to not only create a conducive enabling environment for the telecommunications sector to thrive, but also to speak to our stakeholders and have a stakeholder approach in creating these policies. Government is a partner to the sector, and we will exist to promote development that improves the lives of our people, whilst also allowing commerce to make profit and also contribute to the national economy. I've often said it is quite important for us to have a win-win situation when it comes to the telecom sector. And of course, as government, we are working towards making sure that we engage the telcos companies on all the expectations that the citizens of Zimbabwe have. I would be remiss if I did not speak to the telecommunications industry about their important role in shaping the digital development and growth of Zimbabwe. All the digital development as targets that we have, especially in government, are anchored on the nation having efficient, accessible, and affordable access to connectivity. I want to take this opportunity to implore our operators to look into improving their quality of service. I think we're going to be having a meeting today with them, and I think it is quite important that they come up with a segment that they put in place to say, yes, definitely it's important for us to have efficient connectivity, especially in areas like Harare, even Bulawayo, or even the cities. I don't expect us to be having unreliable connectivity there. So we are saying, yes, we don't need to leave anyone and any place behind. But for starters, it is quite important that we look at these areas. Of course, they've been complaining to say, yes, we need to also look at the energy a challenge that they would be having. But of course, looking at those areas, it is important that they come up with a solution which will make sure that we have reliable connectivity in these areas. Yes, not leaving anyone in any place behind. We also look at the raw population. I'm happy to say, yes, we are happy that our telcos companies are also looking at ways that they can do to make sure that they connect their unconnected. So it's not only about the city centers, but it's also about the rural population, which also needs to be very much connected. In line with the Zimbabwe is open for business mantra, we continue to call for and also to welcome investment in the ICT sector. We strongly believe that more players in the industry will not only provide healthy competition, but they will give the consumer a wider and better choices. The regulator Portras remains ready to also make sure that they license all people that are also willing to also be entrants into the sector. And today, the conversation which has been there, which I thought is very, very important, is for us to come up and be able to come up with solutions that will enhance our reliability as a sector to the people of Zimbabwe. And we are really urging that whatever outcomes that are going to come from here is going to be an open discussion, which is not targeted to anyone, but for us to be able to make sure that we are there to enhance this sector going forward. And as your minister, and also being quite a young minister, you should also know that I'm also open to any other submissions that anyone has, and we're willing to also take them on board. When it comes to the policy, when it comes to the regulations that we're supposed to be giving, it's quite important for us to listen to what the people say. Even when we're coming up with our policy, we also had to also have a stakeholder engagement, and this is also important. Right now, with all the challenges we assist with, we are willing to also make sure that you come up with solutions that you think are willing, that are going to also make sure that they progress our sector going forward. And as much as we're going to be having this meeting that we have today, but we are saying for you, you can also be able to also communicate even directly to me, give us your submissions, and I'm sure we'll get the telecoms sector that we so much want. In conclusion, I urge all participants to actively engage in the discussions and also the deliberations throughout this conference. Let us seize this opportunity to chart a course towards a more connected, inclusive, and prosperous Zimbabwe. It is now my distinct pleasure to declare this Business Times Annual Telecommunications Conference and Exhibition 2024 officially opened. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Before you step down, we do want to offer you a token of our appreciation for you attending and joining us at this event. So we'll just ask our team to bring it up for us so we can hand it over. Thank you so much. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, please may we put our hands together for the Honorable Minister, Dr. Mavetera. We're going to invite our superstar, Miss Red, who's currently hosting a radio show just outside, to be the one to give you this. It's good for the photos, you see. Thank you very much, Miss Red. Please clap hands for Miss Red, everyone. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. How are we all? Can we just wave our hands to see if we're still together?